I was at church on August 3rd. I was visiting with my friends when we got the horrific news of what was going on in my community. By the time we fully knew what was going on, we couldn't comprehend the tragedy. And by the end of the day, I was sitting in a cafeteria of a school that Representative Blanco at the time, but Senator Blanco now, was a school that he called home, in the cafeteria that he ate lunch at. And we looked around that room, and there were family members searching for their loved ones. And there were mental health workers trying to help those understand what was happening to them. And the governor came. And they said, "Would you like to speak to the families that don't know? To the families that don't know what happened to their loved ones, those that were still waiting that moment on that day." They didn't know where their loved ones were. They didn't know if they were being held as witnesses for the crime that was committed in my community. They didn't know if they were being held to identify the body of their loved ones. And they asked us, "Do you want to come talk to these families?" And I walked back in that room with the governor and with Senator Blanco and with Mayor Margo, a representative that served in this body too, a Republican. And I saw him cry in that room. And I saw friends of mine from when I worked in the district attorney's office, friends of mine that were in victim services. They were sitting there trying to hold those close who had no clue what was happening to them. That's the room I sat in on that day. None of you shared that experience. Not Mr. Schaefer, not anyone else in here. You know what else I shared? What room I shared? The room days after that where I was promised that we would take gun safety seriously in this state. I sat in rooms and talked to people, the Anchandos, who lost 2 family members that day, and who, by the way, forgave the shooter, forgave them. Through their own Christian faith, they said, "I cannot hate you for what you did. I forgive you for what you did to our family." They sat there and they told us that. And I could not comprehend their mercy. I could not comprehend their forgiveness. But they did that in those rooms, and I was in those rooms too. And all they wanted was something better. All they wanted was some accountability. Yet here we are. I get it. There's nothing I can do. I can't stop this. I know the rules of the House very well. This is about to pass. But I couldn't stop tonight without sharing my disappointment. Knowing what I heard in those, when the doors were closed, I heard lots of promises. I haven't heard them since. One day, that tragedy will come to your community. It's come to Dr. Bonan's community. It's come to Brooks Landgraf's community. It's come to John Kemple's community. It's come to many others' community. And it's going to come to yours too, because we fail to be responsible to the members of our communities across this state. I pray that it doesn't, but it is. I wish it wasn't, but it will. When we leave this floor in a few days, I'm going to ask the speaker for permission to introduce the names of the people we lost in El Paso. And speak in their memory, because it'll be the last time that any of you ever hear their names. But it'll never be the last time I ever think about their names. Thank you.